Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here. I'm your host with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope your week is off to an amazing start. I want to talk to you today a little bit about happiness. And what is happiness? Late last night I was listening to a very interesting, very, very entertaining audio compilation of various parts and talks from Earl Nightingale. And the title of this audio was How to Be Happy Before Success, which I love that title in and of itself. And for those of you, that are new to the personal development arena, Earl Nightingale was a well-known personal development thought leader. He was recognized for his gold record, The Strangest Secret, among many other things, and founded Nightingale Conant. I was listening to this audio and I enjoyed a ton of amazing insights that he shared, but ultimately there were a few key points that I just really wanted to highlight for you here today. And before I do that, I want to give you a couple of well-known quotes that he's had because I think it ties in, and these are ones that I've had, printed up and kind of carry around with me. One of them is, never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass away. And I love that quote because I think a lot of us tie happiness to our dreams, and it takes time, and you need to be able to weigh patience with the ability to create happiness in your life along the way. Another quote he has is, success or happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And I love that quote because it helps to emphasize the fact that happiness is the progressive realization. It's not the ultimate destination of a worthy ideal. And the third quote was, learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Think how really precious is the time you have to spend. Whether it's at work or with family, every minute should be enjoyed and savored. And what I really love about that quote is that today, especially today in society and social media and online and the environment and marketplace, so many times we look for happiness outside of ourselves when truly happiness comes from the emotions that we can generate any time in our life. So back to this audio that I was listening to, Earl in his audio asked the question, would you like to know how to be happy? And I would ask you that question. Would you like to know how to be happy? I think we all would answer yes. And he said and went on to say that, people are chasing a destination, and yet happiness is within your reach each and every day. Happiness is not a destination. Ultimately, we're truly just seeking positive emotions in our lives. And emotions are things, they're states of being that you can control and generate at any given moment. So as I'm listening to this audio, he went on to say something that I felt was really applicable, and it was kind of strategic for how you could do something that would allow you to generate that happiness and shift your focus at times. He talked a little bit about a gentleman by the name of John Stuart Mill. And John was one of the most brilliant men of our time, and he had a really interesting statement about happiness. He said, those only are happy that have their minds fixed on some object other than their own happiness, in the happiness of others, on the improvement of mankind, even on some art or pursuit, followed not as a means, but of itself an ideal end. Aiming thus at something else, they find happiness by the way. So what I really think is appropriate and really strategic with this is that he talks about the fact that happiness is not having your mind fixed on your own happiness, but having it fixed on others or something outside of yourself. And it's a really tricky scenario because many of us try to look at objects outside of ourselves to create happiness inside ourselves. But what he's really saying here, and the distinction I want to make, is that taking the focus off your happiness itself and just putting it into the service of others is a way by default to achieve the happiness that you're so much looking for. Now, my partner Robert Stuberg mentions that, and I thought this was an interesting thought, that the founding fathers of the Constitution of the United States might have done us a disservice by putting these words in the Constitution. It reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And I think this is really the key because so many people feel that they need to pursue and chase happiness. And whereas I think I found in my life that happiness, the key is to stop chasing it and start living your life being happy. And ironically enough, you're going to be very successful along the way, the more you can learn to be happy before you're successful. Now, finding and identifying your unique talent and sharing it with the world, that's a sure recipe for success and happiness. And when I've talked about unique talent in the past, it's been a concept that one of my mentors and partners, Robert Stuberg, talks about, where it's something that you're passionate about and you're excellent at. So it's something that you can do really well, and we all have unique talents. And then learning to share that in the service of others. This brings you fulfillment, happiness, satisfaction, and ultimately tons of success. So when you put your talents to use and you find ways to fill needs in the service of others, you're going to find all the things you need, from satisfaction, happiness, and obviously success. So I want you to think back in your life to where you were the happiest, the happiest situations, emotions, times, memories. And I challenge you to focus your efforts on finding ways to move your focus off of your happiness and onto other things, other people, other circumstances, other service-oriented things, or just frankly, just off yourself. Because ultimately, when we focus on ourselves, that's where we run into most of the problems. That's where we run into the circumstances and things like that. Now, Jim Carrey was given a commencement address one time. I remember him saying, I think everyone should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of, so that they can realize that that is not the answer to happiness. And I love that quote, because mostly individuals that I've been around, 7, 8, and 9-figure mentors, have found that after the success comes, the happiness doesn't just come right along with it. So, I could go on and on and on, but ultimately what I want to leave you with is this. The key to fulfillment in this life is not having what you want. It's wanting what you have. And it's about leaving and learning to accept leaving all of the circumstances and things outside of yourself and in your life, and accepting and embracing the idea that it's not about achieving happiness. It's about happily achieving. So if you're success-driven, an entrepreneur like I know you are, or a success-driven individual, all it takes is a little tweak from going from focusing on achieving happiness to happily achieving. And it's not easy with all the distractions and competition in the world, but if you simply remember that if you take the focus off of yourself, if you take it off of yourself and place it on others, I think you'll see that there's much greater happiness for you in your life. Earl Nightingale got it right when he said, how to be happy before success will ultimately bring you both. So that's my message for today. I hope that's something that might inspire you to do something a little differently in your life. I hope it's something that'll give you ideas. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to hearing different ideas and strategies that have helped you as well. If you haven't downloaded the Daily Mastermind mobile app, I encourage you to do that. It's free. I got tons of resources. We also automatically feed the blog and the podcast and video interviews into that. We've got free ebooks and audiobooks and even guided and unguided meditations. It's all free. So download that app. You can get it on iTunes or the Android marketplace. And I look forward to talking with you again tomorrow. Have an amazing day. My name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind.